Hi, I'm Chris Gumas. Welcome back to Ruland's Collar and Coupling Corner, the only weekly show that answers your shaft collar and coupling questions. This week's question comes to us from a user in Berkeley, California. They ask, what does recommended gap mean? Two-piece shaft collars and rigid couplings require spacing between the two halves. You can see this here on this shaft collar. When they're not installed, you can see that they're ovular as opposed to circular. This is because materials removed during the manufacturing process to split the collar and the rigid coupling to ensure that they evenly wrap around the shaft. We publish the recommended gap on each one of the two-piece shaft collar and rigid coupling pages on the website. This allows you to know how much gap there should be between the two halves when you actually install the product. We recommend that you use a shim when you do this. So basically you'd shim both sides and install the two halves. You can do it by eye, so like you can just tell by eye that these are even. So it doesn't really matter how you do it as long as you leave that gap on both sides. If you don't leave the gap, it creates uneven screw torquing. So you have one screw that's torqued down too hard, you have one screw that's not torqued down enough. In a shaft collar, that can result in decreased axial load performance. In a rigid coupling, decreased torque performance depending on the size. That may be a big issue, especially with the rigid couplings for torque if the shaft isn't keyed. Thanks, and I'll see you next week.